NFL Week 4 is here, and this is your FanDuel NFL Week 4 breakdown, where we go through the whole thing on FanDuel, the salaries, the matchups, all that stuff, and try to figure out who are the best plays on the FanDuel NFL Week 4 main slate. Now, little cool twist here. I wanted to show everyone on FanDuel, they're doing it different this year. So these guaranteed overlay contests that FanDuel runs, these are the ones you want to get into. Okay, they're effectively free. This is the only chance you ever really get to play DFS without paying a VIG to FanDuel. And if you're not playing in these contests, you really probably are someone that doesn't care about like being profitable or winning or any of that. So there is a whole different bunch of price points for these, and I get that not everybody's going to do all of them. But at the $4 level, there's a 20 max here, Sunday snap. At bare minimum, this is something that should be maxed out by every single one of you that are watching this video because it's free money. Basically, what they're doing is they are putting more money into the player pool than what they're collecting. They are paying out more than what they collect. Now, it's not just this one contest. This is okay. But now they did it, it looks like, for this $65, this $50 one. And so they some of the high dollar ones, which again, I think this is a miss on the part of FanDuel. If their intention was to bring in more casual players to play more lineups here, these are not contests for casual players. $65 or $150 per entry with a kind of, let's call it, a payout structure that's a little bit top heavy. But either way, these are free money contests. I'm just do some quick math on these. So in the 300K snap, they're collecting $4 per entry, 67,000. So that's 7, 14, 21, 28 would be $4 less the 2,500. So let's say they're collecting, I don't know, $270,000, but they're paying out 300. Normally in a contest that collects 270, they only pay out 220. So this is a massive difference. Instead of taking a 10 or 15% commission to run the contest, they're putting in an extra 10 or 15%. Got to load up. These are super profitable contests to play. Let's see what the hot route is. 1,800 lineups at $50 a piece, but they're paying out 100,000. So they're doing the same exact thing here. It would take they're effectively only collecting $80,000, but they're paying out 100,000. Normally, when they collect 80,000, they pay out 65. So the difference is almost 30% more cash in the pool. So you should be doing these. Very, very important. So let's load one of these bad boys up and take a look at week 1 because, hey, we're going to, or week 4, we're going to load. I will be all over these. I like free money contests. I like it when the sites do things like this. I want to encourage them to do it more often. I love free money contests because more often than not, guys, you don't even realize it. When you're playing DFS, you are simply losing the rake. You're probably a good enough player. If you're even watching this video, you're probably a good enough player that you're, at worst, an average player. So why are we losing money? Because we're paying rake all the time, right? You're always like, why am I down 15, 20% every time I enter one of these? Because that's what you're supposed to be down, unless you win it. So with that being said, let's take a look at this player pool, starting at the very top. Josh Allen, Buffalo's a heavy favorite in that game, and I'm never in love with playing super heavy favorite quarterbacks. That being said, the team total is crazy high for Buffalo. So should we do it? Probably a little bit, but not what I want to build around. I normally like more competitive environments. This could be just one of those spots where they just hand it off. Ray Davis, garbage time, that kind of thing. So I don't know. I don't know about that one. Lamar Jackson, though, at KC, that is an interesting one. And I think this will be a pretty good spot to play. Both these teams play really good defense as well. So it's not like it's a guarantee that Baltimore at Kansas City is going to be this high-scoring game. As a matter of fact, there's no guarantees, especially KC offense does not look very good lately. I think Baltimore is going to win this game handily. And Lamar will have a big part of that. So I don't mind going to Lamar here at all. Similar with Jalen Hurts at Tampa. Okay, we want Jalen Hurts in games where the opponent can be competitive. Now, can Tampa be competitive? I don't know. They lost Mike Evans for the week at least, probably next few weeks. But it looks like Godwin will come back. I don't expect Godwin to be effective. But, they have their full suite of weapons, and Godwin out there is at least enough of a distraction to keep things going. So I do like this spot for Jalen Hurts. Yeah, I don't mind it at all. Moving on, Jaden Daniels, not clear if he's going to play. If he does play, I'll have some interest here. But, I always like to venture down to the lower cost quarterback. So let's and kind of compare the difference between maybe like a Hurts and somebody else who I might like who are cheap, some other players who might be cheaper. So here's Herbert on the road at the Giants. Easy enough matchup. I think the Giants might make this competitive, which could lead to more scoring across the board. So could get a good game from Herbert. I don't mind it. Pat Mahomes, home against Baltimore. My guy has not looked good this year from a fantasy perspective. 26-pointer week 1. So, all right, I'll give it to you. Rushed for touchdowns week 1 and 2. That's not normally going to happen with Mahomes. And then last week we saw classic Mahomes, the offense is not that exciting. With that being said, this is Baltimore. The Chiefs defense will not be able to stop them. So there's a good chance that Baltimore will be scoring and Mahomes will have to answer. So I'm going to definitely keep him in my player pool for NFL week 4. Keep him on top of mind. I'm not going to build this lineup around him, but I will keep him top of mind. Baker Mayfield, he's not having the year he had last season. That's for sure. 22, 19, 17, been fine, but we haven't seen the pop game out of him yet. We got Jared Goff at home against Cleveland. This does not interest me too much outside of like crazy GPPs. This seems, and it's not like, the one good thing about Cleveland is they stop the run. So it might very well be a situation where Jared Goff does have one of his good games. Could happen, but they need to really stop the run. That's really how Detroit works. Detroit's going to keep scoring. It's just a question of how and where. One of my favorite games of the week is the Chicago at the Raiders game. Raiders, Las Vegas, slinging it out there with Geno. Fine by me. They can't play defense. The Bears don't play defense. Caleb Williams is hot, picking up the offense right now. I'm fine with it. Let's go with Caleb Williams as our quarterback for this build. But let's look at some more possibilities here just to go through the whole player pool. We're not done. Daniel Jones, Indiana Jones, on the road at the Rams. We know the Rams are going to be able to score. The Colts have been one of the hottest offenses in the league with Jones looking like resurrected. So that's a game I'm going to want to build around as well. I like Jones here too. I don't mind it. Even Rams are pretty good defense. Don't care. Still like dimes. And the Rams are going to be a bit of a tired defense and maybe demoralized after the disaster they had in week 3. Geno Smith, I don't mind it either. You know what? GPP tournament play. Geno out there slinging it like crazy against a Bears defense that doesn't really play very good defense. They're missing a lot of cornerbacks, and a lot of guys are hurt already. Yeah, I'll take it. Drake May at home against Carolina, also a good spot. So this is where I want to be. I want to be hanging in this zone right here, this 4-pack. Caleb preferred, May, okay. Geno and Jones, just fine. Stafford's not somebody I normally play in DFS, but, he could throw for some touchdowns in this game, but he just doesn't do anything else, doesn't run at all, and I just normally don't play him in DFS, so I'm not changing. Let's see. Young, no. Turds, nerds and turds. No. Penix, maybe. Can we go back to Penix after he gave us the Penix right in the rear last week if we played him? I don't know. Probably at 6,500 on FanDuel. That's an acceptable price. And of course, we have our super salary saver of the week, Jackson Dart, 6K, starting for the Giants. Can run a little bit. Has Malik Neighbors on the team. Are we going to see rookie disaster game out of him? Maybe. Or can we see one of those miraculous, where did that game come from? Also, so I'm definitely, especially here on FanDuel, he's priced at Stone Min. I will have some shares of that. I will build a lineup around that. There's no doubt. All right, let's check out the running backs and for NFL Week 4. And we had some new players thrust into new roles for their teams this week. I'm going to look and see where they're priced. Cam Scatterbo for the Giants taking over as the full blast starter. We've also got the potential for Trevion Henderson to be taking over, at least as a very heavily used, the more used guy, maybe a 70% guy. After all those fumbles by Ramondre and Antonio Gibson, I just cannot see how they don't do that. So I'm going to be curious to see where those guys are priced, especially Scatterbo, who, FanDuel is usually notoriously slow for adjusting salaries, at least the first week after an injury. So I'm curious. I haven't looked. Let's start at top. Jonathan Taylor, highest priced. Okay. The ascension of JT. He's probably too expensive for a road game at the number 1 ranked Rams rush defense. So I will be fading that one. And I think CMC at 9,300 is also probably a little too pricey for his usual role. So, we got these guys for 8K, 7,800. I told you earlier in the season, those were gifts you were never going to see again. So The good times are gone. Look at how FanDuel has priced up these running backs. Derrick Henry in a also semi-tough matchup at Kansas City. Not my favorite. I don't mind it, but it's, again, 9K is really expensive. Bijan Robinson in the bounce back game. I do like him, 8,900 though. Again, really, really pricey. Running backs up top on the FanDuel board. And not sure we can afford those kind of guys. So let's scroll down a little bit here and see what we can find in a slightly lower cost area. Here's Kyron Williams at 7,800. And by the way, and also James Cook priced all the way up here. I get it. James Cook has big games, and this matchup is really, really good. But wow, 8,500 for Jimmy Cook. Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough pill to swallow, but he does get it done. He gets it done on low volume more often than not. He's not in the game, but I guess against Miami, they gave him some real volume. 19 carries, 3 targets. He's been touching the ball around 20 times per game, so that's realistically not too bad at all. Jahmyr Gibbs, 8,300. Again, tough Detroit rush defense. I don't know if that matters for Gibbs. He's very much a pass-catching back and that kind of role, but, Detroit heavy favorites. It does favor the running back. We'll have to think about that one. Kyron Williams, 7,800. Kamara, no. Bucky, maybe. This is kind of where I want to be, though. I'm liking this area right here. Quinshon Judkins. Travis Etienne's not the worst play at 7,100. Bucky, again, Eagles, pretty good run defense, so I don't know. But Bucky, for that price, has he gotten it done? 11, 12, only 1 touchdown. We need a little better out of Bucky. We need a little better out of Bucky. Travis Etienne on the road underdog. I'm trying to stick to favored running backs as much as possible. And the first one we are going to plug in our lineup here is Omarion Hampton. The breakout happened for Omarion last week. No need to fight it. 19 carries, 7 targets. I can't even read. 7 targets, 6 receptions. This guy did everything you want and more. That's all I could ever ask for my running. You're going to give me 26, 27 touch. Now they're heavy road favorites against the Giants. Yes, that is a smash spot. Let's go. Janty now at 6,800, losing snaps, not getting a lot of touches. This might be the game though. I like it in tournaments. So is this the game where Janty finally puts it together? Right? He's not been horrible, but he's not been good at all. Unexplosive, unimpressive, but sometimes it takes a while for a rookie to get going. So I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but about the declining snap share that we've seen out of Janty the past few weeks. So that'd be a dangerous pick. I'm not ready to go there yet, at least not for this lineup that I'm building here. Montgomery could be interesting. 3 touchdowns, but he's not normally. Did he have 3 touchdowns last? That was crazy. 2 rushing, no, just 2. But crazy game for Montgomery, but on low volume. He's not going to keep doing that, right? Swift has a good matchup, but Swift just hasn't really scored enough to matter. He'll be in my player pool, I think, just because you got to take a starting running back in a high-scoring game, I guess. But he'll just be in the player pool for me. I don't think I want to use him here. Quinshon Judkins also starting to percolate a little bit. 18 carries and a couple targets last week. I think we'll see more of the same. Again, he's got the underdog running back sort of stigmata going on right now. So it's not my favorite spot, but I'm definitely keeping an eye on Judkins, and I like what I'm seeing out of him so far. Pollard, again, underdog running back. Nothing exciting there. But I think we could go right here to Trevion Henderson. I think the Patriots at this point must know that this is somebody they absolutely need to feature on their team. And everybody else is fumbling the ball, stumbling, bumbling. I know teams don't want to overly punish somebody for a fumble. So I think we'll see Ramondre next week a little bit. But they should. I don't know if they will, but they absolutely should elevate Trevion to, the 70% carries guy and make the other guys lower it. But they might be too nutless for that. Why haven't they done it already? It was clear that Trevion's better than those guys. For all the Krosky, Ja'Cory Merritt, Bill bros out there, this guy's just not there yet. Could be just because he's new. He's learning the playbook. I don't know. But everybody thought when Eckler went down that they were going to just hand the keys to Ja'Cory. And meanwhile, Chris Rodriguez came in and he got more of the carries than Ja'Cory did. So the true starter was this guy. I don't want anything to do with any of it. I don't want any of it. Nothing. But there is one more player I'm interested in. 8 targets, 6 receptions in week 3. 10 carries for 60 yards. That was during a disaster. No Tyrone Tracy. Obviously, there's a new quarterback in play, but Scadaboo is getting the lockdown, all of the touches, all of the carries for the Giants this week. Good enough for me. 5,400. That price is crazy. So our trio, look at this. 57, 54, two sub 6K running backs available to us on DraftKings for NFL Week 4. I loves it. Between Trevion and Scadaboo, it is early in the week as I'm making this video. I absolutely want to listen. I want to hear. I want to see the coaches, see what they say, get a feel. I want to hear from the coaches of New England that Trevion is our starter going forward. I already know Scadaboo is the starter. I got another worry about there. Trevion, I want to get more confidence in over the course of the week. Hopefully that will happen. All right, moving on to the wide receiver position. I love this start for us, by the way. 7K left per position. You know what? Let's get the defense in there too, so we see how much we have to spend. All right, so let's go to the very bottom and just start scrolling up, and we're going to try to find a viable defense somewhere around here. Raiders, maybe the Raiders. If I really, really needed to pay down, I would do it. Titans, if I needed to pay down, maybe. Chargers at the Giants, maybe, but not with this build. Definitely not with this build. New England, maybe. Houston, interesting. Baltimore, somewhat interesting. Bills, spectacular. Lions, acceptable. Colts, unusable at this price. Titans, Texans. I'm going to plug in the Bills. I think it's a tough game for the Saints. This could be one of those 30-point, those upside games for a defense. I'm taking the most expensive defense. And you know what? If we have to save some money later on, I'll downgrade. We'll do it that way. All right, let's roll over to the tight ends as well. Might as well just kind of backwards it in, and then we'll finish it up with the wide receiver group. So I'll start at the very top. Yeah, Brock Bowers at 6,700. Okay, that might be where we go with this. I mean, it's not that much more expensive to pay for the best tight end on the slate. I'm interested, right? I'm going to plug it in, actually. Let's see how much we have left. That is very doable with all of these pay down running backs. Let's see who else we have. Now, Brock Bowers, he hasn't done anything. Why am I picking him? He's coming off injury. It's the Chicago game. It's going to be a sling it kind of game. Brock, is he getting healthier? Hopefully. Kelsey's not someone I really like using. Laporta, it needs a competitive matchup to matter, probably. Tyler Warren is okay. Juwan Johnson, PPR guy. Dalton Kincaid could be interesting, but again, non-competitive game. Hunter Henry, big game last week. Acceptable, but I'll probably reserve him for my Drake May lineups. Mark Andrews, very playable. I don't mind this. I'm going to go down to Mark Andrews coming off that big game. I think the savings will do us some good. So let's go down to Mark Andrews here. And that's who I'm going to plug in. Coming off the monster week, Mark Andrews. Yeah, is he going to do it every week? No. Things haven't changed that much. I like a few of these guys, though. Hunter Henry's fine. How about Dallas Goedert? Back together with Hurts in a game where Hurts is probably going to be throwing a little bit. I don't mind that either. I never mind Zach Ertz as long as Jaden Daniels is the quarterback. And then Cade Otton coming off of a zero in week 2. This isn't even right. This is wrong information. Oh, no, in week 3. Yeah, they didn't give him anything. They didn't even include the week 3 game here. That's how bad he did. It's he was in the game. Look, where's FanDuel? They don't even believe it. They're like, he must have not played. How could he get no targets? They didn't even include a 0 game line. That's weird. I wasn't expecting that. But with that being said, if Mike Evans is out, historically, in the past, when Mike Evans and Godwin were out, they started throwing to Cade Otton like crazy last year. He had a couple of blow-up games. This reminds me of that. So as much as I'm a little 0 from last week, he's a really interesting tournament play at this price. So I'm not going to have him out of my pool. I would say Cole Kmet's also playable as well. Has he done anything? Almost nothing. So actually, I won't play him. Forget that guy. All right, let's roll over to the wide receiver group. And before we get the reminder, guys, first hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel here. But if you want access to the Domination Station, our cheat sheets, projections, optimizer, our sim boost, all of the things that are helping DFS Army subscribers dominate the leaderboards. Also, you see the helmets. You see those DFS Army helmets. You see the one above me here? When you see those in your contest, those are DFS Army members repping the brand, proudly displaying, hey, we're killing it this year. I want you to become a part of it. You can use my promo code GEEK to get 10% off any subscription that we have at DFS Army. If you don't like it, you can cancel. But come be a part of our community. We are talking DFS 24/7. There's always coaches in the Discord. Our Discord is hopping. Our tools are spectacular. We are not like other sites. We build our own tools, our own optimizer. You're not buying somebody else's optimizer through me, paying a premium. Our projection system is widely known as the most accurate projection model in the business. No one can touch it. That's why we've been around the longest. Been around the longest out of any of these guys. We're not going anywhere. DFS Army, promo code Geek, get in there. All right, let's go to the wide receiver group. We have $8K to spend. I got Caleb Williams here. Where's Rome? Oh, look at him, 7,200. Okay, I'm just going to start right there, plugging Rome Odunze in. But let's start at the very top. Gotta love Puka Nacua this season. I'm trying to see what his scores look like on FanDuel. Not as excited. Yeah, still good. Still good. Like, the guy's a target machine. This game is going bananas. The only thing he doesn't have going for him is he's not scoring a lot of touchdowns. But that will come. The touchdowns will come as well. So I don't mind some Puka Nacua right there. Malik Neighbors, a little risky here. Definitely with your Dart lineup, though. Dart, Neighbors, hell yeah. Right? Nico Collins looking decent this week. 8,200, not a good price point. AJ Brown priced up absurd. Ladd McConkey, come on, FanDuel. Come on, FanDuel. That's an absurd price point for Ladd McConkey. He's not doing anything. He's not better this year than Quentin Johnston or Keenan Allen, who are going to be priced. I don't even see them. They're priced way below. Unacceptable, FanDuel. Brian Thomas hasn't done anything yet. Will this be the day? I don't know. Devontae Adams getting all the targets, but not quite on the same page with Matthew Stafford just yet. You see all these targets, but a lot of, non-catches. So that's something to keep an eye on. Drake London also having a bit of a slow season to start. I am not hitting the panic button. We just need Penix to suck less, to be less bad. That's not asking that much. Take how bad you are and be better than that. Penix looked good week 1. He was Penix week 1. He reverted to Penix last week. We need the Penix back. I like it, right? Ikbuka with no Evans is a smash play, especially against the Eagles who are going to be scoring. Look at all this money we have left over. Jamo Williams, no. Devontae Smith, okay. Keenan Allen, fine. Debo, that's my right, punk. If Jaden Daniels comes back, I very much like Debo Samuel. He'll be a very strong part of my FanDuel player pool, as well as will Ricky Pearsall. This is a great price and spot for Pearsall. So you can see here, there's just the way they're priced here is very interesting. Quentin Johnston very much in play as well at 6,200. Sure. Why not? Jacoby Myers, 6,100. Great. Lave, Jennings, Brown. No. Pittman at 5,800. Ted McMillan at 58. Yes. Oh, so much value here. This is going to be a good week. We don't even need to pay down for all these cheap running backs. This is why you don't need to. You don't have to. I don't need Scatterbo, Trevion Henderson. I like them. I still want to play them. But look, look how much salary I have, 3,700. I could just swap out Trev for the most expensive running back on the whole slate. We can get to CMC just like that. So I'm going to leave the lower cost version in here though, because this is the perfect lineup to build off of. You take a baseline like this, and we're just going to build off of it for our lineups this week. Let's see here. Yeah, back to it. But Debo, great. Pearsall, love him. Quentin QJ, fine. Let's see how low we can go and still find very viable players. Pittman and Ted McMillan, great. Jerry Jeudy, acceptable play as well. Not my favorites, but Michael Pittman seems to be the prime guy for Danny Jones. I'll pair them up. Ted McMillan could be in a Trevion Henderson sort of ping pong lineup. Jerry Jeudy, I talked about it at the onset as well. Jerry Jeudy hasn't done that great this year, but this might be the spot. Detroit is a high-flying team. You could throw against them. Even Caleb in that kind of messed up game, week 2 game against Detroit, he hit his wide receivers. They all did fine. Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, Tyquan Thornton is an interesting tournament play. Tyquan Thornton, by the way, this guy could get it done. 15 fantasy points, 9 targets last week. He seems to be emerging as a target that Mahomes actually kind of likes. So I'm interested in him as well. He's a touchdown scorer. Like if he catches the pass, it's a touchdown. That's what he's doing. How the mighty has fallen here with Travis Hunter effectively unplayable. Josh Downs at 5,100. Okay. Also, targets share kind of not been great this year, but that could pop at any time. That could change. Yeah, that's about it at the wide receiver group. I'm going to put in my favorite pay down option here as of right now, which is going to be Pearsall. So let me plug that in. But listen, I'll be fine with Pittman, Pearsall, Debo, Quentin Johnston. Look what we got here. Caleb Williams stack. Caleb, Roma Dunze. We got the bring back. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should take the bring back, right? Take Brock Bowers and make it a Caleb stack with a bring back. There we go. We got the bring back with Brock Bowers. Emeka Egbuka, the only wide receiver that's healthy for Tampa right now. Ricky Pearsall, the only healthy wide receiver for San Francisco right now. Scadaboo starting for the Giants. We got Trevion Henderson. We got 2K left here. I could just upgrade Trevion or Scadaboo. I think I'd rather play Scadaboo, I think, than even Trevion. If I don't like who I have available to me, I can even do another upgrade. I'm like, I don't like these guys. Kyron, okay. So that's when you drop your Bowers right back down to, something else, a little Andrews here or something. And now we can just play McCaffrey or even Derrick Henry in that smash game, or even Bijan, whatever. There you go. FanDuel, NFL, week 4 in the books, guys. Code Geek at DFS Army, 10% off. Remember to like and subscribe here to the channel. More content coming out every day here at the DFS Army YouTube channel. So make sure to stick around, subscribe. Helmets up, guys. I'll see you next time.